star-studded night in Los Angeles. The 61st Grammys aired, and yes, the internet responded. We are going to take a look at what you guys are saying online. I absolutely love the Grammys because I feel like I get to see all these famous performers in person. They're really just on my TV.
But it feels that way sometimes.
Good morning. It is Monday. You are watching the Good Morning Show, February 11th, and we have plenty ahead to talked about this morning.
Yeah, let's get to it with a quick check of the forecast though first. Ed Matthews doing that, and we've got a little rain on the way.
A little rain across the Piedmont this morning, and also you're headed out with temperatures in the mid and upper 30s. Two things you'll need. You'll need the coat, you'll need the umbrella. As we take a look at the radar, nothing particularly heavy, and it's very spotty. We're talking about areas of, well, light rain and drizzle. That's going to be the story through the day and even into the overnight period, likely seeing some patchy fog develop tonight. So rain and drizzle off and on across the Piedmont today. Temperatures are going to be slow to move up because of the clouds and the rain. We're headed for highs today up about 44. Hopefully that rain won't impact travel this morning,
That's
Eric.
Right. Got to be careful out there because Ed's right. Some of the roadways are wet. We haven't seen any major accidents out there. In fact, hard pressed to find much of any of the accidents. But as far as slowdowns go, we've got this one. This is Highway 68 there at Interstate 74 where those two intersect. And we're seeing that southbound 68 lane heading back toward Main Street and High Point. That's down to 9 miles per hour. As far as drive times are concerned, leaving High Point to Winston-Salem from 66 to US 52 on 311 West, that'll take you 9 minutes. And northbound Interstate, or excuse me, Business 85, it's 11 minutes from I-74 in High Point to Interstate 40 in Greensboro. We'll keep you posted with another traffic update coming up in just a little bit, Trace.
All right, Eric, thanks. Let's get right to our top story this morning. A shooting kills a man and injures a woman in Eden. WFMY News 2's Candace Red is on the scene right now with the latest information. Good morning, Candace.
Let's get to it. Still a lot of unanswered questions in this case, but again, I do want to give you a live look at the motel because here's exactly what we do know. Police were here last night. It was around 8:30 when they received reports of shots fired straight into a car. Again, this is at the Eden Inn Motel right here on South Van Buren Road. As you can see, the scene is clear, but I did drive around the parking lot early this morning and saw pieces of yellow crime scene tape left behind. Now, taking a look at your screen, that's 37-year-old Tim Blanks from Bassett, Virginia. He's charged with first-degree murder and attempted murder. Police say that someone dialed 911 and reported someone shooting, again, straight into a car. When officers arrived, they found the body of 34-year-old Brandon Rose. Now, police also found 38-year-old Megan McKinney suffering from a gunshot wound. Still no word on McKinney's condition at this time, but again, law enforcement, they quickly identified Blanks as the suspect in the shooting. Now, deputies with the Henry County Sheriff's Office in Virginia arrested Blanks. It was shortly before midnight, and we do know that Blanks is currently sitting in jail awaiting extradition back here to North Carolina.
It is 6:02. Let's get you caught up with your other headlines and your news to note in 90 seconds. Police in Winston-Salem are looking for a suspect in a deadly bar shooting Saturday night. Investigators believe Saquon Scales was leaving the Absolute Ultra bar when a fight broke out. Someone shot Scales. He was rushed to the hospital but later died from the injuries. Police ask anyone with information to call the Winston-Salem Crime Stoppers line. Protesters converged in downtown Greensboro this weekend. The group says its goal was to raise awareness about the recent arrests made by the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement Agency. Last week, the agency reported more than 200 arrests in North Carolina. Protesters argue they were unjust and unfair. But Friday, ICE officials addressed the increase in arrests, indicating the actions were part of normal protocol. Regional ICE Director Sean Gallagher said the arrest resulted from lack of cooperation. Gallagher added that local law enforcement's actions prompted his officers to be more forceful, but believes they are acting appropriately.
Whether you support ICE's mission or not, there is nobody that wants to live next to a sex offender, somebody charged with rape, a gang member, or a violent felon.
Gallagher says ICE does targeted arrests and 91% of people they detain have a criminal history. That is a look at your news to know with some time to spare. Trace?
All right, thanks, Meg. I can use it as we take a look at your other news stories. It is a controversy making headlines across the country, and now it's hitting our state and a triad university. Wake Forest University is the latest institution to face backlash over pictures of blackface in an old yearbook. WFMY News 2's Jansen Silver spoke with the university on the proactive approach they're taking.
There are accounts of students dressing up in blackface. There are accounts of discriminatory and racist language that have been used.
A quick look through Wake Forest's 1976 yearbook, The Howler, and you'll see students on campus, pictures from when Harry Chapin and Fleetwood Mac came to campus, and a fraternity Halloween party complete with KKK garb and someone in blackface.
The tricky part about our history is it was complicated back then and it's complicated now.
Wake Forest University's Vice President for Diversity, Jose Villalba, wanted to be proactive in dealing with issues they knew would surface after all this blackface controversy started.
Like most folks in the South have been looking over our history. It was as good a time, if you will, as ever to kind of confront those realities.
And in their proactive story, Wake Forest leadership was clear. Wake Forest University President Nathan O'Hatch saying, quote, "Wearing blackface is racist and offensive then and now. So how do you move forward?"
For us, it's building on the programs that we already have. It's making sure that once we have enrolled a student, that we value who they are.
And although Wake Forest has addressed some of their issues, they know this story is far from over because they say there will be many more images from other places still to come.
It's hard to believe that nothing would be in a yearbook, particularly yearbooks that have always been student-run, student-edited, student organized, right?
Wake Forest says they are continuing to do things they've done for years, making sure they have scholarships for first-generation college students and students who have a financial need. They say being inclusive and diverse is a battle they will keep fighting. The blackface controversy is also the big talker in Virginia, where photos claiming to be Governor Ralph Northam wearing blackface surfaced last month. Northam told CBS's Gayle King he thought about resigning but has no plans to leave office despite the uproar. You can watch the full interview with Governor Northam today on CBS This Morning. That's a look at your other news. You're going to lighten the mood here and talk about Valentine's Day.
Yes, I think we should do that. We're talking about how much money people are spending. So think about it. I want you to think hard. How much are you going to spend or maybe have already spent? It's only a couple days away. The National Retail Federation expects that the average American will spend about $162 celebrating the holiday. That is up 13% from last year, but only 51% will celebrate Valentine's Day, and that's down 4% from 2018. All right, but don't rely on your tax return to cover those costs. You know why? Because here is something, we don't want to hear this, some sobering tax refund numbers so far for those who filed early. Now, the IRS says fewer taxpayers are getting federal refunds this year, and those who do get one are finding that it's smaller than in the past, on average about $170 less than last year. Maddie?
Yes, let's get to it with what is trending this morning. Last night it was women that took center stage at the Grammy Awards, and the women who are taking social media by storm this morning. So Alicia Keys hosted the awards, the first female host in more than a decade, and she started the show off by bringing out some powerful female friends. Take a look at this. Lady Gaga, Jada Pinkett Smith, Jennifer Lopez, and former First Lady Michelle Obama each gave a reason that music was important to them. Let's talk a little bit more about Alicia Keys, so playing two pianos at once. Now, we were all hoping that the 15-time Grammy winner was going to do a bit of a performance herself last night at the Grammys, and she did not disappoint, singing a medley of songs. And just one more time, she's playing two pianos at once. Now, we can't forget about some of the winners last night. Of course, Cardi B took home Best Rap Album. She is the first female to win that category. Casey Musgraves, her Golden Hour album, took home Album of the Year and Country Album of the Year. Dua Lipa was this year's Best New Artist. And last but not least, Ella Mai, who was actually in Greensboro for A&T's homecoming this year, she took home Best R&B Song. As you can imagine, there is a lot of trending Grammy news this morning. Let us know what you're seeing using that hashtag. Get to it.
Well, Maddie, in Piedmont weather, we are checking the 7-day forecast. The areas of rain and drizzle keeping us only in the mid-40s toward today. But look at this. A warm front moves through and we jump to 60 tomorrow, but still a good chance of showers. Check out Wednesday, Thursday. Temperatures up around 60. Plenty of sunshine. I'm looking forward to midweek, Eric.
Loving that. No problem. Something to note in traffic real quick. Looks pretty good here. Greensboro heading south on Interstate 85 to Lexington from I-73 to Highway 8. Take you 25 minutes. It'll be 20 minutes on Interstate 73 south to Asheboro from I-85 to US 64. Looks like we are in good shape there. All right, coming up in just a bit. But first, let's take a look out. Yeah, you can see that. We call it a low ceiling, but you see when you can almost tell where the clouds are, even though it's pitch black out there. Yes, that means that the clouds are low and we are getting some rain. Grab an umbrella. And coming up, details about another 2020 presidential candidate announcement. This happened over the weekend. We'll get you caught up with national headlines when the Good Morning Show continues.